Ich hoffe, man hört mal Bezähne, der dreht gerade ganz schön ab. Was haben wir hier?
No trespassing for traitors.
Want to jump the gate and explore what's on the other side?
Edward ist nicht gerade begeistert von der Idee, über den Zaun zu klettern und sich in den Pfad hinaufzuwagen. Edward schaut sich das geklapprige Tor und Zugang im Pfad an. Das sieht nicht einladend aus.
The sign says no trespassing for a reason.
Come on! There may be trolls, or at least more houses. Where's your sense of adventure, old sport? Don't you want to see where these tracks go?
They lead to the old mine, and no. I've had enough adventure on this side of the fence. Besides, they wrote no trespassing for a reason.
You're such a terrible bore, Teddy Bear. I'll wager 1,000 clams you'll jump this gate at some point, if you believe Betty's on the other side.
Frederick Fretland. Who are these traitors he refers to?
What now? We've looked everywhere.
There really doesn't seem to be anyone around.
Maybe we missed something. An important clue. How about the general store? We haven't been inside yet.
It looked deserted, but worth another look, I guess. The weather is favorable today.
I did a little dance last night, appeasing the weather gods.
Okay, also beim Laden sollte man nochmal schauen. Da ist auf das Ding einfach umgefallen.
What if everyone turned into a pebble, and they can't speak, but they see and feel everything that happens to them?
There's something very wrong with your head.
Wouldn't that just be awful? Why, I'd be a murderer.
Wow. Alter, jede Fantasie ist der Hammer. Wir haben einfach so frei Schnauze, wildfangmäßig. Wollen wir da eigentlich nochmal? Mining Company. Okay, also nochmal zum Laden. Aber wir kommen ja nicht rein.
Is that? Lissie, come here. It's Betty's hat. She was here. She could still be in there. Betty? Betty!
Are you sure, Edward? I mean, it's just a hat. Is it even a hat? I'm
I
not
know
sure
my sister's hat, Lissie. I have to get inside.
What about the breaking and entering part?
I could care less what they call it.
Okay. Jetzt bin ich gespannt. Ach so. Ist das offen? Ach so, jetzt kann ich an die Fenster rumprobieren. Geht es überhaupt so auf? Ja, doch, glaub schon. Auf der anderen Seite? Das wird nicht aufgehen, also Vorhang davor. Ah.
Here's an open window.
You seem eager to break the law. I approve.
Ziehen.
It won't budge.
Ah, don't be a milquetoast.
Well, it's stuck.
Attaboy, Teddy. You can do this.
Stärker ziehen. Als ob er das eine Gleichheit machen kann.
I can't believe I'm actually breaking... Whoops, Daisy.
Oh.
Oh my, Teddy. You're such a sap.
Wie wär's, wenn du mal aufstehst, Teddy? Warum sind die Dinger da oben an der Decke?
Edward Charles Harden. 10. World traveler. Cat burglar.
A cat burglar would, by definition, enter a building on a higher
Murder?
floor.
The state of this place.
Oh, Betty.
Edward.
I hope you weren't here when...
Is this... blood?
Not necessarily human blood.
Well, that's alright then. What does it say? Barn murder? Someone murdered a barn?
Barnemord.
Barn means child. And mortar...
Kindsmörder.
Child murder. Edward, they murdered a child?
Someone thought so.
Probably the same someone who vandalized the store.
I'm not sure how I feel about being in here.
Don't be ridiculous. We're all alone. What else do you suggest we do?
Ja, der hat das Blut extra mitgebracht, ne? Jetzt können wir es auch aufmachen, wenn wir ihn auswählen.
It's been cut. Why?
To remove someone from the picture.
That's just rude.
It's from the opening of the mine in 1897. That's Frederick, Johan's brother.
And the boy could be the younger brother who died.
Frederick clearly did not want anything to do with his twin brother.
Ach so, ja, stimmt. Weil er sich dann rausgekauft hat, ne?
What are you doing?
Looking for keys.
Your life of crime continues.
The keys are all gone.
Some thieving thieves beat you to it. Rascals.
There's a
Notiz.
note.
Is it written in Viking runes? What does it say?
It's from Simon.
Casa.
Casa. I don't know what that word means. Yai put it means I put. Knuckle is key.
He put the key in the casa?
Casa. I wish I had my dictionary. The note's addressed to his father.
So the key was moved. But where to?
Somewhere safer. Or more convenient.
Can we really trust your translations? You only started studying a month ago.
I spent the summer reading, and I had a lot of free time on the ocean voyage.
Come on, how much could you possibly pick up in a few months?
You know my mind, it's a sponge. The key's in the casa. Whatever that is.
Don't look at me.
Hört sich an wie die Kassette. Nicht verschickte Post.
These were never sent.
How long have they been piling up?
I received Mrs. Fretland's letter in June, and they received my letter from July.
A couple of months. Perhaps the world forgot about Grovik.
Ah, Casa ist in der Kasse. Da ist das Bild. Ah, die Tochter und... Okay. Telegraph. Hutaufdruck.
Out of order.
Why hasn't it been fixed?
Perhaps there wasn't much demand for it anymore.
S-O-S.
Wie SOS.
Oh boy. If only this thing worked. We could order a boat to come get
Alter, mach
us.
mich nicht fertig.
Or, even better, order some hot grub.
In der Kasse, in der... Da unten liegt was.
Casa.
So that's what it means. Cash register. You're a genuine gangster now, old fruit. Don't worry. If you get busted, I'll come visit you in the big house. The Vandals weren't here for the money.
I think money was the last thing on their minds.
Wasn't there supposed to be a key?
Here it is.
Sollte da nicht ein Schlüssel sein? Ein Schlüssel direkt vor der Nase? Alles klar. Das liegt da unten.
Why would Frederick keep a list of what he calls traitors?
What did they do to him?
Cross him in some way. Why else keep a list of undesirables?
Ah, wahrscheinlich. Die wohnen dann wegen der
I have the
Schließung.
key.
The one for the storeroom?
Achso, ja, stimmt, also für einen anderen Raum. So haben wir ja nichts, ne? Das stört mich immer noch. Warum hängen die da oben? Oder sollten die da gar nicht hängen? Keine Ahnung. So, jetzt kriegen wir hier einen Hut. Na, basteln wir uns unsere eigene Betty.
Lissie, nothing. It is her hat.
Teddy, I'm not
Betty
sure
was
that's...
here, and not long ago.
Okay, but if that is her hat, what's it doing in a locked storeroom?
Another breadcrumb.
That's not an answer.
I know for sure she was here. That's what matters.
You know best, Edward. So, what now? If this is a breadcrumb, where's the next one?
There must be a reason her hat's in this room.
Wie wär's denn erstmal
What's
mit
that?
Zettel
A
anschauen?
handwritten note.
I'm not blind. What does it say, you silly goose?
It's hard to read. I'm not sure my translation will be... Johann, you... Nectar. Refuse. You refuse to speak to me, so I write this letter instead. It's from Frederick Fretland to his brother. Simon did not... Bloody hell. Simon did not murder your Ruth. He was fond of his cousin.
Ruth. Ruth is the daughter of Anna and Johann, which means the little girl in the photograph at the farmhouse. Oh, Edward. The Fretland girl was murdered. This is simply awful.
Simon was working at the farm while I tended to the store. I would have seen him had he passed on the way up to the cliffs.
They thought Simon killed Ruth. His own cousin.
Ruth was... what's that word? Playing. Ruth was always playing on the rocks below the church. She must have fallen by accident. The note ends there. Frederick never finished it. And Johann never read it. Not that it would have made a difference. If Johann
The
thought...
mob showed up for Simon. His father would have tried to protect him.
September 17th. You would have been here, Betty.
Rocks below the church. Isn't the church right above us? Edward, come look at this. That's the cliff. Right there. The one in the note? I bet you 1,000,000 clams.
Where?
See for yourself.
I guess that could be where...
Let's check it out.
No, Lissie, wait.
Ich kann halt mal nach oben schauen. Ist es das? Oh, die ist schon da hinten. Alles klar. Hier haben wir alles. Die ist ziemlich fix, ne? Ich weiß doch, wo du bist.
Teddy, up here. I found it, Teddy. The cliff. I'm standing right below it.
What are you doing? This doesn't concern
A
us.
little girl died. We're staying in her home, for God's sake. Are you completely without heart? Get yourself up here, Edward Harden, right this minute.
Whoopsie-daisy.
Wer zur Hölle sagt Whoopsie Daisy? Ja gut, wir sind in den 20ern. Ich würde es nicht wundern, wenn Cthulhu hier irgendwo auftaucht.
What is this?
Where little Ruth died.
You're being morbid. And this is a distraction. I'm here for Betty, not because some girl
Edward.
got herself...
You insensitive brute. You're like the Tin Woodman, no heart. You know, you've grown cold and mean in that horrid study of yours. With only books and bugs to keep you company for years and years and years. There are other people in this world, you know. It's not all about you. You're going to do this. If not for Ruth, then for us. We're going to figure out what happened to the poor girl. Together.
Dass die Blumen alle verwelkt
That's
sind.
been here a while.
Didn't you say it happened over a month ago?
You'd think her family would have replaced it with fresh flowers.
Is that blood?
The girl could have hit her head on that rock. There would have been plenty of blood.
It's awful. I think there's something behind it. Can you move the rock aside?
Ja, aber hättest du das nicht so, schon lang weggewaschen oder so? Ich meine, die Blumen sind mittlerweile vertrocknet. Eine Puppe? Oder jedenfalls ein Stück davon.
It must be Ruth's.
Where's the head?
Maybe the killer also decapitates dolls.
Hold on. This pin. This is old. Very old. Looks like something from the Viking era.
We are in the land of Vikings.
This could be 1,000 years old. It does not belong in a child's doll.
Who cares? Ruth is dead and you're obsessing about a rusty old pin? Let's go further up. Maybe we'll find more clues. Come on, old sport. It's not far.
Can you wait just 1 minute so that I can catch my breath? Did you follow the same path, Betty? Or am I just stumbling through darkness?
Ich vermute mal, sie hat auch versucht rauszufinden, was passiert ist, oder?
You can see clear beyond the edge of the world. Right. It is awfully chilly.
One
Oh,
second.
teddy bear. We need to take you out walking more often.
So, the girl fell from up here.
Was pushed, you mean? Can you see where she fell?
Schon hier mit das Ende des Fallens senkt er Distanz. Schwindelig, sein Herz ist nicht erpicht aufhören.
If she fell head first on that rock, she'd have died instantly.
Edward, honestly.
You wanted to learn more. This is you learning more. She hit her head and fell into the bush where I found her doll. Happy now, Alice?
I'm not. What was she doing up here in the first place?
Playing? She was a child. Children play in dangerous places.
There must be more to it. Let's find out where this path leads.
No, absolutely not. I don't have time for this nonsense. We're running out of daylight, and Betty's still... You're still out there.
Bist du nicht erst aufgestanden? Wie schnell geht hier die Zeit? Ich bin gespannt, wie lange das Spiel an sich eigentlich geht.
Lissie, slow down. I can't keep up with you. Who knows what's up there? It's not worth the risk of falling and breaking something. Lissie? Are you there?
Teddy,
My word. Look away, Lissie.
is this what happened to the villagers? They killed themselves?
It's one body. Let's not jump to conclusions.
Ugh, this is just ghastly. What made him do this? How long has he been...
From the state of the body, perhaps a couple of weeks. It depends on temperature and humidity, of course.
Oha.
Was he executed?
He could have kicked the chair away himself.
What does that say?
God forgive me.
Don't suicides go to hell? Isn't that what your father said when
Stop.
your mother drowned
Don't.
herself? Sorry. Who was he? One of the Fretlanders?
It's not Johann or Frederick. And he's too old to be Simon.
Do you think this has something to do with Ruth? Maybe she came across the hanged man before she died, and it scared her. So she ran, and
This happened later.
there's some consolation in that, I guess. Maybe it's the killer. The guilt ate him up and he offed himself.
That's just speculation with no basis in fact. There's nothing more to do here. I'm going back. Let the poor soul rest in peace.
Does it look like he's resting in peace? You're just going to leave him hanging? You're an insensitive brute.
I'm here for Betty. It's tragic, but really none of my concern.
Betty, always just Betty. You don't care about anyone else. What if that was me up there? Would you care then? All you do is obsess over a scarf and a hat and ugh.
It's all I have of Betty.
Betty, there she is again. Edward, the hanged man, he's someone. No matter what he did or didn't do, he deserves respect. Would you please just do this one decent deed? If not for me, then for yourself. Or for your Betty. What are you doing? You can't just pull him down by his legs. Try loosening the noose.
I can't reach that far.
Wie wär's denn mit dem Stuhl, Junge? Ist schon ein ungehobelter Sack, ey.
I'm going to be sick. I can't do this.
Yes, you can. Teddy. Edward. I know you can. You've been through much worse.
Was denn? Erzähl's mir. Oh, ob jetzt bindet er endlich los. Hallo? Ja, da unten ist auch das Symbol.
Where are the Fretlands, Edward?
It's been 2 days. If they're not back tonight,
They're not coming back.
perhaps they left after their daughter died.
Was murdered, you mean? Isn't that what we think happened?
She was probably murdered.
And you think Simon did it?
Your guess is as good as mine. It could have been an accident.
You're really not helping.
Can we talk about this tomorrow? I'm sorry.
You're exhausted.
I buried a corpse today, Alice.
I know. I'm sorry. Why don't you sleep in the guest bedroom?
The couch is fine. The Fretlands could still come home.
All right. Just don't come crying to me if you wake up with a crick in your neck. I'll be up for a while, if you feel like talking.
Okay, das ist aber eine gute Stelle, an der bedanke ich mich jetzt bei euch fürs Zuschauen. Und wir gehen dann dem ganzen Zeug weiter auf den Grund. In der nächsten Folge. Mir ist jetzt nichts Besseres eingefallen, egal. Irgendwas wollte ich noch raus haben. Danke fürs Zuschauen, macht's gut und bis zum nächsten Mal. Servus.